Hello everyone. Today's story is about a boy who was known for being lazy. But what if I told you that laziness wasn't his real problem? By the end of this story, you'll discover how one moment, one challenge, and one clever decision turned everything around. We'll also learn some useful English expressions along the way. So stick around, listen closely, and let's grow together. Once upon a time, in the peaceful hills of Elmsdale, there lived a boy named Leo. Leo wasn't mean or careless, he was just not very motivated. He always found shortcuts for everything. Instead of walking to school, he'd ride his dog's cart. Instead of washing dishes, he'd wait until the rain came and leave them outside. His parents were worried. "What will become of him?" they whispered at night. But Leo always had an answer. Why waste energy when you can think smarter? That answer worked, until the day his father collapsed from exhaustion during harvest season. The family farm depended on the upcoming rice harvest, but now Leo had to do it alone. The sun scorched the fields, the weeds took over. After a few days, Leo gave up and sat under a tree, watching the crops dry out. That night, he couldn't sleep. "What am I doing? Dad always worked hard for me, and I'm just sitting here." The guilt was heavier than any work he'd ever done. The next morning, news reached the village, a royal challenge at the capital. The king would reward a chest of gold to the winner, someone who could solve a practical problem with creativity, not strength. Leo didn't hesitate. "I'm not strong, but maybe, just maybe, I can think my way through." The villagers laughed when he joined. Leo, the boy who once tried to cook soup using sunlight and a mirror? But Leo left with determination in his heart. After days of travel, the first round began. Contestants had to cross a canyon, but there was no bridge. Each person was given the same materials: ropes, planks, nails, and cloth. While others struggled to build unstable bridges, Leo stood silently, thinking. He remembered something his father once told him: if you can't go over a problem, sometimes you go under it. He started digging sideways into the cliff wall, creating a tunnel using the cloth to hold the soil. It took hours, but it worked. He emerged on the other side while the rest were still balancing on shaky bridges. Leo made it to the final round. Now the challenge was even tougher. Each finalist was locked inside a room with a heavy iron gate. The task: get out, using only a mirror, a candle, and a piece of string. A riddle was written on the wall. Use the light to free your mind, and the truth will set you free. The others shouted and kicked the gate. One even tried to burn the lock. Nothing worked. Leo stared at the mirror and candle. Then he lit the candle, held it to the mirror, and noticed something. The candle's flame reflected directly onto a small piece of wax sealing the mechanism. He melted it slowly. The gate clicked open. Leo walked out. He was the only one. The crowd roared. The king smiled and handed him the reward. "You didn't win with force, but with wisdom. That is the rarest strength of all." When Leo returned home, he used the prize not just to save the farm, but to build an irrigation system, one that worked automatically. From that day, no one called him lazy again. He hadn't changed overnight, but he had found a reason to rise, a spark to push forward. So what can we learn from Leo? Even when you feel stuck or lazy, maybe it's not because you're weak. Maybe you're just waiting for the right reason to ignite your potential. Find that reason for your family, your dreams, or to prove the world wrong. And remember, even the slowest flame can start the brightest fire. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the story and learned something new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let's keep growing, one story at a time.